So the first thing I had to ask myself was, who owns these big apartment buildings? Have you ever drove down a road and look over there and you're like, man, some rich and famous movie star has to own that? That's not true. Jordan and a lot of people in this room, they own apartment buildings. Everyday people own apartment buildings. And that's what I realized when I drove down the road and I said, okay, well, who owns these apartment buildings? And I started looking it up. They're owned by an LLC, but there's a name behind that LLC, and it's not as big a person as what you think. They're not a billionaire. Now, they may have got there, but it mostly didn't come from real estate. So at that point, I realized, okay, well, anybody can do this. If everyday people own this, how do they do it? Well, they could work their entire life savings and never have enough money to purchase one 200-unit apartment building. They never have enough. So there had to be a way that you could do this, and everyday people own extraordinary assets. And I found real quick that real estate ownership is not reserved for the rich and famous. That is built through partnerships, structure, and strategies. Everybody believe that? That's all it is. It's built through partnerships, structure, and strategies. It's not that hard. And from there, real estate is built on leverage. Every smart, no offense to anybody, but every smart real estate investor that owns a lot of real estate, it's built on leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is using, again, other people's money. It's the bank. So the first thing they do is you've got your bank that lends the money. You got your investors that invest with you. They're everyday people. And then you have the operators that execute. That's what it really comes down to. Do you believe that what's in the bank's account that they lend you is their money? It's not their money. Not at all. Usually, just a quick snippet on a bank. Kelly, you go deposit your money in the bank. They borrow from the Federal Reserve for points on the dollar. And they take whatever you put in that bank. If you put 100,000 in, they can lend $1 billion exact same day. It only has to be in there for a very short period of time. Well, that's how they make their money. And they can lend that through credit cards. They can lend it through lines of credit. They make lots of money on your $100,000. So they want to lend money. I learned that very quickly. And then I also found out with everyday people, they also have money, and sometimes they don't know how to invest it. I'll be honest with you, the rich are lazy. The very rich are very lazy. They don't want to work for their money. They're not going to go trade hours for dollars. But they'll gladly partner with you. And as long as you can give them security through your track record, through your ability to pay it back through the actual investment, they'll lend you the money. They'll say, yeah, absolutely, Eddie, I'll do that. So the real power comes from leverage, and it comes from banks and investors. So first, what's a syndication? Does anybody know what syndication means? Well, syndication really comes down to when a group of investors pool their money together and they buy large real estate properties. One person or a company, the sponsor, which is usually your general partners, finds and manages deals, or a deal, we shouldn't say deals, a deal, while the investors, they're limited partners, and they provide the capital and they earn passive income and profits through property. Now, here's the thing. That's one property, it's one business plan, and it's one exit. That's essentially what I did not like about syndication, because I have one property that I better make sure that that thing does exactly what it's supposed to do. And I think we can all agree that syndication models ran by inexperienced operators have really had a hard time with this, because they bet on performance. And those pro formas had one business plan and they had one exit plan. And it didn't exactly go well. So how many people in here have closed a property? So you know what a PSA means, a purchase and sale agreement.